Welcome to another episode of TrackIt. I know what you're thinking, it's a little bit odd that I'm stood in the garage while I'm introducing a Trackday video, but there is good reason for that. Last year now, Mart and I headed to Bedford GT for our last Trackday of 2018 in the Cup, and we had a couple of issues with it that we had predicted, but we were hoping weren't going to happen. Of course, both of them did, so we just didn't get the chance to film everything that we wanted to on the day. So I'm going to jump in at various points during this video and let you know what on earth's going on. So I'll roll the film now and see you in a sec. Gold star then for guessing what that was. It is of course scrubbing, and these are the culprits. They are 15mm stub axle spacers which sit between the flange on the axle and the stub axle coming out this side. I've run these on the Cup since I actually bought it and have had no issues in the past, but we kind of thought that this might be an issue when we trial fitted the wheels at the weekend. At that time the car was fully loaded though, so we thought get all the stuff out the back and it'll be absolutely fine, but how wrong could we be? This was awful, and it was our first lap out and you can hear we are crying with mechanical sympathy. So we got these off, it took about 45 minutes, not a big job, and headed back out on track to see what other issues we could come up with. The second issue strikes then. Mart had been out on circuit for about 15 minutes by this point, and the car looked to be performing okay, and it certainly wasn't oversteering like it had been at Brands Hatch. But when he pulled back into the pits, a guy came over to us with an MSV embroidered logo on his top and what looked like a speeding ticket. It had a picture of our car, the noise limit at Bedford, and the noise that our car was making, with those two numbers being exactly the same. Now, Bedford is quite strict on noise, but luckily this guy was really nice, really willing to help, and we'd kind of foreseen this issue, so we had our centre silencer with us. So we set about fitting that, which was not a particularly fun job. The exhaust was hot, hands were cold, and the ground was wet. The exhaust was also seized, so it required quite a lot of wiggling. Anyway, 45 minutes later, we managed to get everything back together and get a couple more laps before lunch. That's it for another track day then. It also wraps up 2018 quite nicely. On the last session, I'll admit, I did have a little bit of a boo-boo. Perhaps I was going just a touch too fast for the conditions. We spent most of the afternoon adjusting the rear anti-roll bar, and by the end of the day we had a very nicely balanced car. Moving on to some other things though, we've been working on the 135 recently, so if you're not following us on Instagram, then follow us for content like this.
Oh, you didn't do that.
Is it warm?
Make sure you subscribe to us, hit the bell notification, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up.